I hate to break it to you, but you are not getting old. Your bad life decisions are just finally catching up to you. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been groomed to believe that once you turn age 30, life is done. Life is over. Now everything sucks. You're degrading as a human being, your joints hurt, you have no energy, and life is miserable. The thing is, I think this is a reality for many people, unfortunately. But it's not because they're actually too old. No, you're not too old. You're 35. You're 40. That isn't too old. You can live a incredibly amazing life at 40 years old if you actually take care of yourself. I don't think age-related decline should be a meaningful cause for concern until you're like 60 plus. The only thing I see that becomes a cause for concern after you're age 20 is that you can no longer mask how terribly you've been living your life. When you're 20 years old, you are kind of given a free pass to be a degenerate. You don't have to necessarily take care of your health, you don't have to have a good sleep schedule, you don't have to exercise, eat right, whatever, and you can still get by. But if you continue living your life like that, then yes, at a certain point, you can't hide it anymore. You can't hide that you're a degenerate, and that is the truth of the matter. It's not that you're too old, it's just that you can't get away with being a loser anymore. And because you can't get away with being a loser anymore, and now you're exposed to everyone that you've lived the last 3 decades of your life just rotting away, instead of being honest with yourself and others and saying, wow, I finally think that all my bad life decisions are hitting me like a brick and I feel terrible. I should probably do something about this. You lie and you create this propaganda that it isn't your fault. It's just life's fault. What can I do? I'm old. I just have to live with this. Right? No. That could not be further from the truth, because the truth is, if you just magically, once you turned age 30 or 40, had got old and you could do nothing about it, then you would not be seeing those like 70, 80, even 90-year-olds that are actually doing great despite their age. Then that wouldn't be a thing, because your propaganda that you're trying to spew is that life just happened and now you're in that stage where everything is shit and you just have to accept it. But by spreading this propaganda, we are just allowing everyone to be complacent. We are giving those people who have not done anything meaningful with their lives a free pass to continue being shitty and never develop. And the worst part about this is we are continuing this cycle by teaching little kids, by instilling it in their subconscious. And just wait, after 20 years old, the boogeyman's gonna get ya. Do you know how discouraging that is to hear? I was a kid not so long ago, and I was told that all the time. And do you know how terribly miserable that was? Hearing, oh my God, you only have another good 10 years to live, and then after the first 2 decades of your life, the next 6 decades are absolutely miserable. It shouldn't be this way, guys. It shouldn't be this way, and we need to start calling this out, because there are people out there who are 50, 60, 70, 80, and they have been taking care of themselves for decades. And you know what? They look much better than me even. In fact, there's this one powerlifter lady that I follow on Instagram that started her journey at age 65. She didn't even start young. And she took it seriously, and she's deadlifting like 140 kilos. She's squatting 140 kilos. She's stronger than me. And she's 70 and I'm 20 years old. Metabolism. Everyone loves blaming why they're fat on their metabolism and their age. Well, that's been debunked too. We now know that until you're 60 years old, there is no meaningful decline in your metabolism. And you know what? It's very insulting, because when I was going through my diet, when I lost 15 kilos, people started congratulating me. And they were like, of course, for you guys, it's easy. I was 20 once too. If I were your age, I would have also lost all the weight. No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have. Because if you did, you wouldn't be here at age 40 feeling like you're 90 years old. And it's insulting because it's not my age, it's not my metabolism. When I was dieting, I got to a point where I was literally eating 1,300 calories, walking 20,000 steps, and running 5K 3 times a week. It was even too much, I would say. That's not metabolism. That ain't metabolism. I'm doing that. That's why I'm losing weight. You guys are just sitting on your asses the entire day and calling it metabolism. That, I'm sorry, but that is extreme cope, and it should not be given a pass anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be that 20-year-old that's like, oh, everyone has the same 24 hours. No, that's not true either. Middle-aged people, they can have it rough. They can have a job that they're trying to juggle, kids, all that can make things difficult. Of course, I feel compassion for those people. I know it's difficult to start, but at least be honest about the situation. What really irks me is that people just lie about it and they take all of the responsibility off of themselves. Just say, look, I struggle to get my shit together because I'm juggling with so much life stress. I have kids, my husband, my job. Then I would get that. But when you come in front of me and you're like, if I was your age, it would have been easy. No, it wouldn't have. And I hate how much being 20 is also glorified in society. Everyone's like, I wish I was 20 once again. Why is that the thing that you wish? Why can't you just say, I wish that I felt good when I was 40, when I was 50? Because I don't know what these people think 20-year-olds feel like anyway. Do they think that we're just on ecstasy the entire time? We never get tired, never get depressed. Look, I'm a 20-year-old that actually takes care of herself, works out consistently, does my cardio, eats well, and I oftentimes feel depressed, anxious, tired. In fact, before making this video, I had to drag myself into this room because I was like, I can't do it. But I still did it. They're so disconnected with what being young even means. No, the message shouldn't be, I wish I was 20 again. The message should be, I wish that I felt good when I was 50. And I believe you can. You can and you should. And it isn't just a belief. It's possible. Because there are 50, 60, 70, 80-year-olds that have got their shit together and they're doing great. Just look at bodybuilding, powerlifting. These sports have the masters class where there's a bunch of old people competing and they look amazing. And if they're a power lifter, there are old people that are lifting hundreds and hundreds of kilos. That is what I aspire to be. And it's never too late to be that person either. You don't have to start when you're young. It's never too late to change your life. Instead of coping, instead of saying, I'm too old, just be honest with yourself and say, I lived my life like a degenerate and I'm continuing to do so now. And from that point on, if you can be honest with yourself, realize that it's never too late to make a change.